Vital Hoops Podcast. My name is Fernando Cardenas, aka International XB, and I am your host. This is episode number 4. Today's main topic is cannabis, but more specifically, cannabis used for athletes or basketball players. It's crazy to me that we're in 2022 and cannabis is still illegal in most countries around the world. This is a very small but powerful plant, right? And why is it so powerful? Because it can heal. And even though in our society, until the quote unquote science approved, right, most people don't believe. But today it is a known fact that, medical marijuana, as they say, can help with cancer pain. It can help with all types of chronic pains. It can help with insomnia, multiple sclerosis, PTSD, right? It can help with depression, anxiety. Now, how does this apply to basketball players? There are many NBA veterans that, are strong cannabis advocates today, that have used cannabis throughout their careers. And there's guys like Kenyon Martin, guys like Al Harrington, guys like Steven Jackson. Kenyon Martin speaks about how he had to go through some serious surgeries throughout his career, and without the use of cannabis, he wouldn't have been able to get through. There's a lot of guys that go through back pains, through all types of pains, and marijuana helps them, get through the day to day. As being an athlete is extremely tough. I myself played professional basketball, and I know that, most of us, we play at night, right? Games are at night, and, it's exciting and everything. And by the time we get done, it can be very late. By the time we get done, we take a shower, we eat, but we're still excited. So it's difficult sometimes to get to sleep. And many guys or many players like to turn to alcohol in order to relax a little bit before they go to sleep, right? But if they could use marijuana instead, they wouldn't get all the negative effects of alcohol, which is very bad for athletes. It causes inflammation, for example, right? And cannabis is the opposite. It helps with inflammation, right? So this is just a small example that could help. But smoking, we all know, is very bad. And this is why I personally am an advocate for marijuana. I'm an advocate for cannabis use, but not through smoking it, right? I understand that, smoking, anything that you burn, right? It brings out the toxins out of it, right? So smoking is also obviously bad for your throat, your lungs, but it's also very toxic for the body in general. So I believe in the use of marijuana, but through other avenues, right? There's ways like, for example, juicing is the best way, right? Raw juicing with an extractor, that would be the best way. There's also baked goods, there's edibles, right? There are teas that one can use. And one great thing about cannabis is CBD, which I personally consume, right? CBD, unfortunately, is still illegal in the NBA, okay? And it is illegal in a few countries still. Fortunately, here in France, it's legal. And I'm a consumer of CBD, right? I'm 36 years old. I'm still playing basketball, even though I'm not playing professionally. I play for a lower level team, but it's still competitive, right? So CBD helps me. I use a cream for my muscles. I massage my muscles with a CBD cream, right? I personally also like to use. I also like to drink tea, right? I have a Rooibos tea, which includes CBD. And some people like to take oils. Some people like to take it in capsules, right? But CBD is very helpful for athletes, and it has shown to have many benefits that are actually very similar to cannabis in general, right? So meaning that it reduces inflammation, right? It can help with sleep. It can lower your blood pressure, all things that are positive for athletes. Also, if athletes want to gain weight, CBD can help with it can help you gain appetite in a healthy way, in order to eat and to eat a little more and feed your muscles and just prosper, right? So CBD is very good, very powerful. I advise athletes to use it. And another way to use cannabis is hemp, right? Hemp, low carbon emission, right? So it's very good for the environment. We can make clothes, shoes, paper out of hemp, right? But the hemp seed is a very rich nutrient. It's actually considered a nut, right? So we make hemp protein powder, very good for athletes. I consume it myself. I like to make pancakes with hemp protein, right? Hemp milk I also enjoy, right? There's all these things that hemp can produce, which are good and positive coming out of, this plant. And yet it is still demonized around the world, right? Unfortunately. But many athletes have been fined for consuming cannabis. And, what's even more unfortunate is that today many people, and mainly people of color, our people, are in jail because of cannabis, right? Because of consuming cannabis, because of all these laws that should not exist. And this is pretty much worldwide. And so we have a perfect example here, Brittney Griner. Let's talk about it. Brittney Griner is an amazing WNBA basketball player, right? Who is playing in Russia, right? Because unfortunately, for those of you who don't know, many WNBA players have to play overseas in order to compensate their salaries because they don't make enough money in the WNBA. So Brittney Griner was apparently stopped because she was trying to import hash oil. She was stopped in Russia by the authorities. This is extremely political, right? This is political, but Brittney Griner, what's even more political is that the WNBA apparently is getting word from the government to not make too much noise about this, right? To not make noise because they're negotiating in order to get Brittney Griner back. But I believe she's been already out there for 3 months now, because she had some hash oil. They said, trying to import hash oil, like she was gonna make a business out of it. She was just gonna consume it. Obviously, she didn't have crazy amounts, but it's all political. So I say free Brittney Griner, and I hope a lot of players in the WNBA stop listening to what they're saying up there, and they start making some noise. I believe it's time to make noise. Free Brittney Griner. Now, there's a lot going on in the basketball world. The Basketball Africa League, the second phase just ended. So the playoffs will now take place on May 21st. That'll be exciting. Make sure you check that out if you're a basketball fan. Also, the NBA playoffs are on. You know what I mean? It's been some great games, some great series actually in the first round. I love it because they're playing defense now, which, during the NBA season, there isn't too much defense going on, but the playoffs come on and it gets real. So, let's talk about it a little bit. The Suns and Pelicans was nice. The Pelicans gave a good fight, very good fight. But, the Suns, they missed Booker in that series, but CP3 was able to come through, and CP3 is amazing. It's amazing what he's been able to do. At his age also, he's getting up there in age, but he's his plant-based lifestyle has helped him for sure. I could tell. We had Dallas and Utah. That was a good series as well. Luka took care of business. Utah, I feel like Utah keeps on underachieving, and they got great pieces. So some of that blame has to go to the coaching staff, I guess. Warriors and Denver. Obviously, Warriors is my pick to win it all. So but I saw Jordan Poole really stepping up like crazy and balling out. Memphis versus Minnesota. I kind of expected Minnesota to win, but yeah, it was a good series. Ja Morant is an amazing talent. But in the next round, we'll see. I think he's still too young. They're gonna have to face. They're facing the Warriors. It's gonna be tough. You know, Phoenix, Dallas now. You know, I believe it's gonna be a good series as well. On the East, we had in the first round we had Boston and Brooklyn. That was a great series, even though it was a quick sweep. The games were good. And the Celtics deserved it. Celtics really deserved it. They played better. Their defense is amazing. You know, Jaylen Brown stepped up, like crazy. He's a great player. And, you know, Kyrie and KD were kind of like not able to do much. The defense was too strong. And that's it. They had more firepower, really. I believe Boston, I rebounded them too much. And, you know, maybe the Nets need to get some more bigs. But I also questioned the coaching a little bit because, you know, Blake Griffin and Aldridge were on the bench the whole time. They're bigs that could have helped, I believe, on the defensive and on the rebounding side and all that. So, you know, Milwaukee, Chicago, it was kind of expected. You know, I think Chicago misses Lonzo Ball a lot. And that's that, you know, the monster that Antetokounmpo is. Toronto, Philly, obviously Toronto missed Van Vliet, you know, great player, but Philly was the better team, I believe. And then we had Miami, Atlanta, and you know, now Miami, Philly is very interesting. Now, you know, Bucks and Celtics is going down. So it's going to be still some great playoff basketball to be played. I believe the finals to be Miami Heat. I'm picking Miami Heat versus Golden State Warriors and Warriors NBA champs. But it's going to be good. It's going to be some good playoff basketball still. I'm looking forward to watching all these games. Before we go, I want to, you know, tell a quick story for reminiscing. And this is very relevant as we're on the topic of cannabis. You know, like I said, you know, cannabis is different to everyone. Not everyone can consume it in the same way, right? So when I was playing college basketball, I had a few teammates, you know, I had not that many, but I had a couple teammates that used to, you know, smoke before games. And it happens quite a lot, you know, not just in college. Also, a few professional basketball players smoke before games. You know, it's quite normal, you know. But in college, I had a couple of teammates that used to consume, and, you know, they used to tell me, I used to be like, how do you do it? And, you know, teammates used to tell me that, you know, it would help them, you know, it would calm them down just a little bit, and they would kind of see the game happen slower, you know, so they were able to react very well, and they were calm and confident. So it would help them, right? But I had one of my teammates who didn't usually smoke. And when he would smoke for games, it was horrible. It was horrible. He would just be running all over the place and kind of not doing what he needed to do. He would kind of forget the plays. He would just be too hype, and it just didn't work for him. So that's the story, just to tell that, you know, people react in different ways, and you have to know yourself, know your body, and do what's best for you. And what helps you will help your teammates and help your team win. So that's that. Now, for my book recommendation, I have a great one today, right? It's Rasta and Resistance from Marcus Garvey to Walter Rodney. Now, this book is amazing. It's written by Horace Campbell, right? And the reason I wanted to recommend it is because there is a part about it on marijuana, right? And it's very important because it speaks about the relation that Rastas have to marijuana. You know, there's a huge misconception of Rastas and people with dreadlocks and marijuana. You know, and this book kind of talks a little bit about marijuana, but it has also it talks about it's an amazing book. So basically, I really recommend this book to everyone out there. Check it out. Rasta and Resistance. Before I go, I want to leave you with a quote from the great Bob Marley. Herb is the healing of a nation. Alcohol is the destruction. Right? So keep that in mind and use the plant. Don't let it use you. All right? So listen, before we end this, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone that's been listening. Thank you to everyone that's been watching us on YouTube. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for giving me feedback, constructive criticism, all that. I appreciate all of it. You can get in touch with Vital Hoops and with me at Vital Hoops Podcast at gmail.com. Okay. Also, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Vital Hoops Podcast and on Twitter at Vital Hoops Pod. Okay. We're working. We're building. We got an amazing guest coming up for episode number 5. And we hope you keep on supporting, and we support you because Vital Hoops is for the culture. Peace.